Welcome to the Franklin and Allum Show. I'm your host, Dave. And with me this week, I have Ben. And I have Kev.
Hi.
How you both doing?
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm doing all right. In a good mood.
Ooh. Anything taking your fancy this week? I'll tell you what I've got hold of this week.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
Pretty good, actually. I didn't even know it was out. It was only because a Fallon clip came up and it was him pimping his book. Really good.
Really.
I've only read the
I
70s.
received a book as a gift this week.
Oh, yeah. It was your birthday, wasn't it? Happy birthday.
Oh, yeah, my birthday. Probably should have said that. Yeah, it was. I haven't started it yet. It's called The 27 Escapes of Captain Someone. So, real life guy who kept escaping things, I guess. I don't know. I haven't read it.
But he also kept getting caught.
He clearly kept getting caught. So
really good at escaping, terrible at getting caught.
Yeah. I mean, if he gets captured 28 times,
Right.
but escapes 27, he's still down on the deal, really, isn't he?
Sure, yeah. So escape and evasion, he really, he locked in on the escape.
Yeah. Brilliant at escaping.
Brilliant at escaping, yeah.
Well, I wonder if, I mean, again, I haven't read it. I'm hoping the book goes into some detail on how far he escaped.
Yeah.
Like, you can't call getting out your bunk an escape, right? You've got... At what point does it become an escape? And what point is it you're just wandering about without permission?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Can't remember. Book's downstairs.
I'm going to feel terrible if you get to the end of it and he was captured again and then shot in the forest.
Which might well be
by SS.
That's how a lot. That's how a lot of war stories end, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know when did this happen? Do you know anything about it or not?
I don't know anything about it.
I'm really intrigued now.
Somebody sent it to me as a present. I'm just googling it.
You're choosing now to read it.
No, I'm googling it. You carry on.
This is going to be thrilling.
Carry on. No, it didn't come up straight away on the. It's not top search on Google, so I don't know anything about it. I'm not going to scroll down.
I'm just going to do a quick network check because you froze then, Kev. I just want to make sure it's not my side. I'm tethered, whoever it is. Etherneted in.
Don't see a lot of them these days, do you? Ethernet cables.
Oh,
that's old technology, isn't it?
No, I'm wired. You've got to be wired. Doing stuff like this. Got to be connected.
Connected.
I forgot what I was going to say now. Throwing myself off.
Yeah, that's a different type of podcast, isn't it? Dave Allum throws himself off.
Anyone, do you watch any sport? Oh, I'll tell you what I watched, and I'm intrigued. I want to find out a bit more about it. Do you see Obama was interviewed by Colbert? Is it Stephen Colbert?
Stephen Colbert, yeah.
And he did the usual because he always asks every time they have a former president on. He asks them about UFOs, Area 51.
Yeah.
And he said, "Is it real?" And Obama went, "I can't comment." So he's gone, "Well, it's true then, because if it wasn't, you'd say no." So I want to see more. I've only seen a snippet of it. I want to see more of the interview. The speculation that Trump is going to piss off the administration when it all changes over. He's just going to go, "Yeah, aliens are real."
The thing is, no one's going to believe him.
Probably not.
Because of his track record. So, hey, this habitual liar has said that aliens are real.
Yeah.
That's just interesting, isn't it? Because they reckon that the presidents are briefed on stuff, don't they? But not too much, just enough. And
that's the thing.
Why would you tell them just enough? Why would you tell them anything?
Yeah. Like, hey, You know aliens, right? Yeah. Yeah.
That's all we're saying.
If they're real, I'll let you make your own mind up.
Is it Bill Hicks?
Yeah, what is just...
He does the bit where the new president comes in and the screen comes down and it's a shot of Kennedy from an angle you don't see. And then the screen goes up and I go, on your way.
Any questions? No?
Okay, tonight's episode, we are going to be discussing our top video games. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. So I've approached this whole thing with from a games I've enjoyed playing most.
Yeah, me too.
Not necessarily the best games, but the games I love the most.
Same.
So my number one pick is a Sega Mega Drive game, NHL Hockey.
That's your top?
No, it's just my first pick. That's just my first go.
God!
Ben, are you angry because you chose that?
Yes, I've got to change it now.
Which year did you pick? Sorry?
What would it be?
93.
93.
NHLPA Hockey 93.
Yeah.
Nice. With the fights and the injuries.
Yeah. Yeah. If you went the Chicago Blackhawks, you could win every game. They had two great players on that game. I forget what their names were. Ronick and can't remember the other one. But one of them was lightning quick and could always score. If you skated him in a certain position, shot at a certain time, he would always score, always find the corner. And the other one is if you timed a hit right, he would knock the person out and they'd bleed out their head and get injured. That was the sole enjoyment of the game, is winning 27-0 but knocking out three people at the same time.
Yeah.
Ben.
I still enjoy them as well, actually, I've got to say. Out of all the sport games that I play, I'm terrible at hockey. I've got a mate who I play with and he spanks me every time. Can't do it.
And I think that's why I like that one, is because it's generally easy to control the player and it's easy to judge the kind of slide and the drift on skates. Every other hockey game I've played since, which admittedly is not many, it's far more difficult. They're far more sensitive, so you have to be really precise. It was just easy to play. I didn't really care that it wasn't lifelike. It was just playable. Yeah, and that's what I don't like about maybe later games, is trying to be too realistic. It just makes it really difficult it's more frustrating to play than anything. Okay. So there you go. That's why I liked it. That's why I enjoyed it. You'd run up a big score and then spend the next 5 minutes just trying to do one thing, just trying to right. I need to knock someone out, and if you mistime it 3-4 times,
I'm still furious. I've had to do again. I've got second week where I have to go on the fly. Do
you want me to go next?
You can go first next week then, Ben.
Do you want me to go next so you've got a bit of time to...
No, go on, you might as well. I need more time now because I've got to do my list again.
Okay. All right.
Please pick another one he's already got.
I've gone for... So my third in my list is Broforce. And it's...
Broforce?
Broforce. It is incredible.
Sounds like a gang.
Pretty much. So it's side-scrolling, run and gun shooting.
Mm-hmm.
But so you play as a bro and you fight terrorists, and then you rescue other bros that are prisoners of war. And then towards the end of each level, so you go around. It's just nuts. It's awesome. Stupid fun. You have to fight a devil boss, and then an American flag appears, a helicopter comes down, and it's like heavy metal music, and everything's exploding. But the reason I love it so much is the bros are all based on 80s and 90s action movie stars and TV stars. So you got Rambro, you've got Bromando, you've got Brohard. It's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It's just chaotic, and me and Ronnie play it all the time. It's just stupid, silly. outrageous, over the top, and it's very retro. It's got that 8-bit look to it. It's a good nod to nostalgic movies and games from that period as well. It is brilliant.
Can't say I've ever heard of it.
It's an indie game. We only discovered it because we went where Ronnie was getting into games and wanting to be in the industry. We went to a few of the independent gaming shows, and these are got what they call Devolver, I think. And it was just, wow, this is brilliant. I'll have to show you. You have to come around and see it.
Well, I've gone the complete contrast to a small independent game designer. I've gone with EA Sports Madden 93.
Nice.
I'm sorry, Kev.
Yeah, okay, so now I know how it feels.
yeah, that's nice, is it? No, Madden 93, because it was the gameplay had evolved quite a lot by that point. I think the detail for the time that went in with the playbook, the graphics as well, and it was kind of with franchise mode. It was all consuming. It was all consuming. You would lose days. You would lose days in trying to get a team to the Super Bowl. And Madden's voice, it was permeating through it. There was nothing better than playing a playoff game in the snow, in Soldier Field or somewhere. It was great. It was just great, and I still love the franchise. I still play it now. It's just consistently good year after year after year.
It's probably the game I've played more than any other computer game.
Maybe Fourth and Inches. I think at the time played Fourth and Inches a lot before Madden.
It was.
What was the other one? Blitz, was it?
Blitz, yeah.
Blitz. Do you remember Blitz? Yeah.
But Madden's far and away, and one of my choices was going to be. I'm going to change it now. Was going to be just Madden, the
franchise,
series, because I think it up to a point it evolved to just such an excellent point, and then maybe the last 3 or 4, they've only made tiny changes. There used to be kind of huge leaps and bounds from when each game was released, and the gameplay would be so much better, or the graphics would be amazing, and it would just kind of blow your mind a little bit. But they kind of plateaued, and they only really change 1 or 2 little bits with every iteration now, which is a bit frustrating because you think, there's a new Madden out, and you get it, and it's exactly the same as 4 you've already got.
It's because
just the rosters have changed.
They go down the online side of stuff, the ultimate teams you do. I'm a sucker for, unfortunately.
Like it, good choice.
So what we what's what we going for? What's going through?
Okay, so which one goes through? Hockey, is it NHL 93? Did you say?
Yeah.
Or just your Madden 93. So see what you two are doing in 1993. And
we're all
playing games.
And mine's Broforce.
Okay.
I've never played Broforce, so I'm going to have to go hockey.
I'm rubbish at hockey, so I'm going to go Madden.
Dave, I'm sorry to do it to you, but I've never played Broforce, and seeing as Madden was one of my other choices, Madden.
Shocking.
So Madden goes through, but it's one of the classics. It deserves to be, and look how long it's lasted. If it's not a good game,
well, yeah, I know. Can you name another American football game these days? Probably not.
That's true.
So round 2.
Number 2, yeah.
My choice is PlayStation 1, Hogs of War.
Oh,
brilliant!
No. I haven't chosen it, but it's It's a great one. Is that the one with Rick Mail?
Yeah. So Rick Mail
That's a
being
great
voice,
choice. That's a great choice.
It's even when you've been playing it for hours.
Yeah, still funny.
It's just the same phrases repeated over and over again. It still kind of makes me laugh. If you're playing it on your own, the missions are really quite good fun to do. But if you're playing it in a group of you and you're having a few drinks or smoking, it's just quite funny. It's quite funny if, in an unspoken way, 2 or 3 of you decide to just pick on one person, and it's an unspoken thing because they don't really realise until about the third go, yeah, why is everyone picking on me? That's just quite good fun. It's a good mix of silly and strategy.
Yeah, that is a great choice.
Hogs of War.
That's a good shout
about that.
And again, I think compared to, I think it's a big change as well compared to consoles that had gone before and the graphics of games that had gone before. PlayStation 1 was another big leap in gameplay and in graphics and things like that. And a silly game like that still had kind of great graphics and great gameplay and stuff like that. So it was, if you were used to playing stupid platform games on a Mega Drive or Master System or something, and then you play something like that on PlayStation, it's a world of difference. So it's another big step.
Okay, my number 2 is a game.
I'm 44. That still makes me laugh. I'm so sorry, David. I'm sorry.
Tell us about your number 2, Dave.
Little Big Planet.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good
What
shout.
a game. What a game. Completely, it brought back platforming games. I haven't played a game like a platform game that good since probably Mario and Sonic. Brilliant. The way it looked, the visual style, it's like someone gone to Hobbycraft and just bought loads of stuff and chucked it into a game. It was so unique. The Sackboy character, completely unique. But Sony's mascot now, I think. And it was simple to play. But what made it brilliant was the creator side of it. So you could build your own levels. And you think this is on PS3, so it's a while ago now, to create this big community where people could come along and play the levels that I'd made, and you could play their levels they made. So you took stuff from the game. Wow, that was just genius, absolutely genius. It brought my love back for platforming.
So I'm not a massive gamer really. I play the odd thing, and throughout the years I've kind of played the odd things that I like, but I've never been a real big gamer. So I don't know much about those sorts of games. But loads and loads of games now, almost every game now has an online version. So you play online against people.
Yeah.
But are there any other games that have an online community like that? So you're not playing against other people necessarily, but you're playing.
The first one.
There is now, but Little Big Planet took it to that next, particularly on console as well.
Yeah,
because I think it's probably been on PCs like World of Warcraft, like you just said, those sort of worlds. But this, you're actually building it. I'm putting a jump there. I'm putting a puzzle there. I'm putting a thing you got to swing across. I made it, and then you play it and see if you can beat it. Brilliant.
Genius. Great idea. Great concept.
Yeah, it was, and I think they might have been independent actually. Media Molecule, based in Guildford, changed a lot for Sony, so I think that's a big hitter for me.
Nice one.
Mm-hmm.
Just echoing what Kev said earlier, and I'm not a massive gamer, and I'm only going with favourites. I'm going with my favourites. So I can't, speak as eloquently as you can, and not as knowledgeable as you are, Dave. But I like it because it's good. It's pretty much my extent. It's a favourite, and for me, it was a classic. And it was the first time I'd sort of seen this character in a good game. GoldenEye 007.
Yes. Boom. Brilliant.
Did you choose that one as well, Kev?
Done it to me twice, Dave.
Yeah.
Can you see my list?
You mess with a bull, young man, you'll get the horns. No, I loved it. I love that opening. I love the opening level where you're sneaking through the through the bathroom and disarm the guard, and then you go through. It was just brilliant. It was a great opening. The gameplay in 4-player mode, the
multiplayer. No one has done that before either.
Yeah, no, it was just great. It was just brilliant and violent and funny and stylish as well. Yeah, so for me, it was the best sort of first person shooter that I think I'd ever played. Oh, yeah, probably still the best.
It's incredible, groundbreaking game as well. It was changed.
When you look at it,
changed things.
When you look at it now, I mean the through today's eyes, those graphics are terrible. But at the time,
it looked incredible.
It looked great. He looked like Bond, and there was a kind of eeriness to a lot of those levels. So you get your objectives, but then you're off. You just kind of got to find your way around. You got to. Yeah. It wasn't kind of spoon fed here. You had to kind of find your way about. So that. The first time I ever played it, the opening couple of levels when you're on the dam, I was just running up and down. What am I supposed to be doing? Not realising you're supposed to actually dive off the dam and stuff like that. So it credits you with a bit of intelligence that you figure it out yourself a little bit as well, which just makes the gameplay more enjoyable.
Well, it's because you were James Bond, yeah, but it was the machine because it was 64-bit. Nintendo 64, it allowed the developer to create a bigger game. So we're used to going back side to side like this, but this was more immersive.
Yeah,
genius game.
Yeah,
and I mean you could unlock the golden gun as well, one shot kill.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is a great choice. Oh man,
I've got to think of another one now.
GoldenEye.
Oh god,
that's in my when we get to that part of the discussion, that is in my honourable mentions, I have to say, because it is just a groundbreaking game.
So what we got? Who's going through in round 2?
We've got Hogs of War, GoldenEye, and Little Big Planet.
GoldenEye for me, because I can't pick my own.
GoldenEye for me.
Yeah.
Because I've never played Little Big Planet, Dave. Sorry.
I was going to go Hogs of War.
Benji's got 2 in the final.
Yeah.
I say Ben's got 2 in the final. 2, they were both technically my choices as well. So,
so did anyone see the Tyson Jones Jr. fight at all?
No, I did. That happened. I didn't even realise it had happened.
Yeah, it was last week. It was a bit of a weird week last week for 80s sports stars, wasn't it? It was the two iconic faces of sport in the 80s, Tyson and Maradona. These two troubled geniuses of that decade, It was just, I've not seen a fight. Snoop Dogg tweeted that it was like watching two uncles fight at a barbecue, which was quite good. But I was thinking about this, and I was thinking that a lot of people are saying, a lot of commentators are saying about, it's an exhibition bout, and nobody wants to see this. Nobody wants to see an exhibition bout. And if you think about boxing, like historically, it's always had exhibition bouts.
Yeah.
Jack Johnson used to fight like wrestlers. I think there's a famous photo of somebody fighting a kangaroo in like the turn of the century.
Bears, yeah.
you've got circus fighters and things like that. Ali fought the wrestler in Japan.
But it was
great. It's ingrained in boxing history, right?
In fact, I'd go a little bit further than that, Ben. I'd say as a prize sport, that's a relatively new thing in terms of boxing history, right? It's always been about exhibition. It's always been a spectator sport rather than a prize sport, rather than people fighting to be a champion or people fighting for a reward or money. It was always as a form of entertainment, like you said, at carnivals or circuses. It would be who can last 3 rounds against our champion or whatever it was. It wasn't about
Billy the Butcher.
It wasn't about finding out who's the best boxer in the world, who's the strongest man in the world. That's been a relatively new thing in boxing history. So it's not just the exhibitions of there's a rich tradition of them. It's boxing is an exhibition. It's only recently that it's been for a championship. But
last time
it's not that people don't want to see an exhibition. They don't want to see 2 old men risking death.
But they do. If you look, people will. That's why you've got like YouTubers like fighting, and like the boxing community is saying, that someone's going to die, someone is going to get seriously hurt. There's one at the weekend, somebody and an ex-NBA guy, and it lasted like 40 seconds or something.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I don't know. It just. For me, it's the fact that these fights are pulling in those numbers shows me how far boxing has fallen in terms of the respect that it should have, right? And maybe you can say that there's too many belts, or there's too many governing bodies, there's too many bodies, everybody's a champion and all of that sort of stuff. But I think if you look at the way that UFC has marketed over the last sort of 10 or 15 years, it's completely overtaken boxing. Like in this country, there's every fight's a fucking pay-per-view fight. Every fight is a pay-per-view fight. And how are you're never going to get that next generation of fans coming through if they're going to have to pay £15. I mean, there was the Tyson fight was 20 quid. The Dubois and Joyce at the weekend it was another pay-per-view fight. We were talking about the Premier League last week. Rinsing people. I mean, but boxing's
been doing that for years, isn't it?
Boxing's been doing it for years, but now it's to the point. And now it's to the point where it almost seems to be like any half decent fight.
I used to watch.
Always on box office. Yeah.
I remember watching. We used to watch championship fights on a portable TV down the pub on ITV. I remember watching most of.
Ben Eubank was ITV on Saturday night, right?
Yeah, I remember watching most Eubank fights when he was champion on ITV down the pub, and Nassim Hamed. They were all on terrestrial TV, and it was when Sky started. So you can say money about the Premier League and boxing as industries, but Sky, organisations like Sky, subscription TV play a massive role in that.
But it's the promoters. It's the promoters. I mean, Hernan. What's his name? What's the other guy?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Good that we don't know his name.
Yeah,
not an important figure in sport.
If you're a young fighter coming through, how are you going to build that momentum, right? How are you going to build that fan base if no one's seen you? So the fan base is being built by either he's a local hero or he's marketed really, really well. All right. So
or he's got a lot of followers on YouTube.
Or he's got a lot of followers on whatever, right? But it's like all of these, you got these fighters now that the hype around them, and have always been spoon fed journeyman to start out with and stuff like that. But now, like, the hype around like bang average fighters is just crazy. It's just insane now. Mm. I mean, that's just, you know, I'm not.
No, I think you're right.
Look, I mean, I know to look at me, you'd think that I was a seasoned professional fighter, but I'm really not. I'm not.
No seasoned professional fighter would have that nose. You still haven't told us who won.
It was a draw.
Oh, really? Oh, God, that. Oh,
yeah.
What do you think about the dementia side of boxing and football now as well, about heading the ball? Because it's been in the news last week or so, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been quite a common theme for the last few years, isn't it? And there are. I can't remember the statistic I saw the other day. It was however many of the England World Cup squad, and it was like a high number. It was like, I think it was when it was announced Bobby Charlton had dementia.
Yeah.
This is something like 8 of the 11 starting 11 of England World Cup squad died of or have some form of dementia. It's just like a high percentage of football players.
Well, it's like the
certain
NFL
era, though, isn't it?
Concussion thing, right? It's like the NFL thing with a concussion. How many former players committed violent crimes? How many former players, you know, because of like brain injuries and things like that.
There's a couple of people. Junior Seau killed himself, didn't he? Because he wanted his brain to be studied because of his brain, because of the pain he was in, the constant pain he was in, because of so many knocks to the head, so much brain damage, basically. There's American football in particular. There's a huge number of players who have killed themselves because they can't handle the pain that they're constantly in because of repeated concussions over. And it's not just their NFL career; it's their college career. It's their from the time they're 7.
Well, that's taken a dark turn, hasn't it? Well, we got round 3. Kevy, you're up.
Oh, I haven't had time to think about it because you stole mine. Okay, I've got one off my reserve list. This is a PC game, and it is World Empire 2.
Yes. World Empire 2.
It is a strategy game. You are given you start as a country at random. It's basically like Risk, Dave.
Risk.
You start as a country at random, and then the person you're playing against starts as another country, and you can only invade the countries bordering yours. So the idea is to dominate the world and defeat your opponent's armies. The reason I like this so much is because when I was living with my parents and I was unemployed, I was basically nocturnal. So I'd come home from the pub and sit on the computer, and this is early 90s. So I think it's about 92. I think this game.
Yeah. It is. Just looked it up because I've never heard of it.
So I'd come home from the pub and then basically sit up all night playing that game. Me and my mate Polly, and you just spend. It takes ages to finish the game, but you just spend hours in this kind of half drunk, half stoned strategy game, and it just reminds me of a brilliant time in my life where I had absolutely no cares in the world, and I'd go and get drunk and then stay up till 6 a.m. playing strategy games with my mates, and then sleep till noon and did the same again the following day.
Was that online? Is that network?
No, it was. We had I can't remember if it. Well, here's the other thing, because it was 92. We had just got a computer.
Yeah.
We didn't have the internet. I think it came built in on that particular PC model we had. I don't ever remember seeing it as a CD-ROM game. I only ever remember seeing it built into that thing. You can still play it. You can still get it. There's I can't remember what they're called, but there's a website that has like classic MS-DOS games, and that's one of them. So you can still go online and play it now, which I have done recently, and it's so basic. It's just a map of the world, but you just click on the country you want to invade and click attack, and away you go.
I've never heard of that game.
That's my choice.
It's a good game. It's a good game.
Never heard of it. That is one for me to look up.
I urge you to play it, Dave. You'd like it.
Yeah, I'll give it a go. Right, so my number one is so obvious because it's probably the biggest game that's been released in the last 2-3 years, however long it's been out. And it is Red Dead Redemption 2. And it is the best game I've ever played, without doubt. I love all my sports games, all of that. I can play them all. This is I've spent so many hours playing this, exploring this Wild West world. It's so unbelievably real, if it's the correct phrase. The map is so real. You travel across the Wild West and you go from deserts, you go to snowy mountains, and it just feels so real. You're immersed all the way through this. You have this storyline, which is a prequel to Red Dead Redemption. So it takes you back to all those characters, but you learn a little bit more about how he ended up in the situation he was in Red Dead Redemption, which itself was a brilliant game. The encounters you have with the non-playing characters, the NPCs, it's unlike any other game I've ever played. They'd send you on a mission, you can talk to them, you can do stupid stuff with them, like pick them up and put them in a hole and see what happens to them and all this sort of crazy stuff. It's just massive. I can't explain how good this game is. What makes it even better is the storyline and the characters. When it ended, the story mode ended, you're physically like, what? It's heartbreaking. There's so many secrets in it. Easter eggs all over it. There's vampires in it. There's treasures you got to find. There's a serial killer you got to track down. He leaves clues all over the place. It's just immense. And then there's online as well, which I've only just started. And I've been playing it 2 years or whatever it is. It's just the best game. It's going to take some beating. It looks fantastic. It plays fantastic. There's always a few bugs in games, but it's just brilliant. It's smashed it out of the park. Rockstar, they're the best. And the point I was going to make about the story actually is that most other games, shooting games, whatever, Fortnite, all of that, this instant you got to get in. And this takes about, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours before the game even starts. It's slow paced. It's amazing.
I much prefer the games I enjoy playing least are those, particularly shooting games, those hectic ones where you're like everything's happening and you're panicking, so you're moving around and you can't see where you're fucking going, and like you get shot and you have no idea where that came from.
Yeah,
I much prefer that kind of slower paced.
And this is
there's a
really
little bit of
slow.
There's a little bit of a puzzle and a little bit of a point to what's going on.
And it's slow, it's deliberately slow because it's you start off in the snowy mountains, and I think it's the robbery's gone wrong and you're hiding out. So it's in the snow, so they can't move fast. They're walking, trudging, but it allows you the characters to start developing. It's better than probably the majority of the movies that have been released in the last 2 years. It's that good. It's brilliant.
Yeah,
never played it, but only heard good things.
It was the reason I hadn't had a console for about 5 years, and when Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, I went out and bought PlayStation 4 with that game for the sole reason of playing that game. So I'd kind of tuned out. I picked up like controllers and stuff at friends and would playing FIFA or whatever. But that was the game. When I saw that game, I had to play it. It was like compulsive to play it. Yeah, it's a great shout.
It's probably really obvious because it arguably is the greatest game that's been made for a long time. It's that good. It's going to take some beating.
It's about your favourite, isn't it? No, it's brilliant. It's a great shout. It's a great shout.
What have you gone for then, Ben? I'm intrigued.
Toying with two. I'm going to go with, purely for gameplay and what it meant to me at that time and the time of my life that it reminds me of, Sensible Soccer.
Who on?
I'm going with Sensible Soccer because it was a really involved kind of, the gameplay of it was brilliant. The tactics were brilliant. Once you'd figured out certain certain moves, and it was just great. But from a personal thing, it just reminds me of all being around a mates on a Friday night and drinking and like tournaments, just completely immersive in it. Yeah, Sensible Soccer for me, because the gameplay of it was just fantastic. And yeah, so from a personal thing, I'm going
totally playable game, and
instantly playable.
Even back then, the customization of it, you could change all your team names, you could do everything in that. It was great. Yeah, good game.
Yeah. So we had the aforementioned Polly had customized the league to be the Premier League, or would have been the First Division possibly at that point.
Yeah.
Well, still been, no, would have just been the Premier League.
Yeah.
So he put all of the players, put all of the teams in, and then it was just completely. Everybody chose their team. So you had Southampton, Newcastle, and Arsenal, whoever, Coventry City. He even put Peter and Lovu in there, and it was just amazing. It was such a kind of carefree game and a carefree time in my life. Yeah. So from complete nostalgia, I'm going Sensible Soccer.
It is a good game. We used to do bands. We used to put bands together into teams. Stupid shit. Why? James Hetfield up front.
Yeah.
That's a good shout.
Lemmy in goal.
That's a good game. That is a really good game.
Good choice, Ben. Another good choice. So here we go then.
So we got to vote on this one. I can't vote for Red Dead
Redemption for me. Red Dead Redemption for me.
Dave, I don't want to do it to you again.
Oh, you can't vote Sensible Soccer.
I've never played Red Dead Redemption.
We're going to vote Sensible Soccer for
I've never played it.
Out of those, I would have picked Sensible.
No, I'll vote for yours. Everything I've heard about Red Dead Redemption is
you'd love it, Kev.
You would love it. Terms, so I'll vote for yours.
Yeah, you would love it. You would love it.
There you go. Red Dead Redemption goes through. So the final then, what have we got?
We've got GoldenEye. We've got Madden 93.
Madden 93, GoldenEye, Red Dead Redemption.
Red Redemption 2.
Dave?
Can we vote for our own then on this bit?
Okay. I think you can in the final. You're just choosing the best out of those three.
Red Dead. It's hard, isn't it?
It's hard. I'm going to go Red Dead Redemption. I'm going to have to sacrifice my own choices and go with it because it's a more complete game. I think it's just the body of it. It's so detailed.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Can we do honourable mentions? Games that I came very close to picking.
Go on.
FIFA, obviously. Turok the Dinosaur Hunter.
Brilliant game.
On the N64.
Yep.
And Alex Kidd.
Very good.
On the Master
System. Yeah.
Good one.
It's a good game.
Again, that was in my nocturnal days. It was Ben's Master System. I used to come home from the pub and wake him up and steal his Master System and take it into my room and sit playing Alex Kidd for hours on end.
Brilliant.
I've got a few that were very, very close to coming in. Road Rash 2.
Oh, good one.
Road Rash.
Yeah.
Road Rash 2 was a great one. Who doesn't want to kick a policeman off a motorbike? It was funny and violent and fast and just chaotic. Yeah, I love that game. Other ones, Double Dragon. Yeah, it's great. Just great.
Okay.
Mortal Kombat, first Mortal Kombat game.
Very good.
Max Payne, the slow motion diving through shooting.
Yeah,
yeah, that was fantastic. Outrun, the car game on the arcade. GTA, San Andreas.
You got to have GTA. I like Vice City. That was one of my favourites.
Yeah. Fight Night 4, another EA game.
Can I chuck in Daley Thompson's Decathlon as well? and Jet Set Willy.
Street Fighter 2. Any of the Mario games. None of us talked about Mario. Fucking probably the best game ever. Right? Donkey Kong.
Tetris.
Zelda. Earthbound.
Yeah, good one.
Earthbound. Destruction Derby. Gran Turismo. Broken Sword. What game that was. Commando. Oh, it's just
Sonic. Assassin's Creed.
Sonic very nearly made my list as well.
Great.
Yeah, there's lots of games.
There is lots of games. Golden Axe.
Almost as many games as there are sitcom characters. But look, it's not who's the best. It's about personal favourites and nostalgia, isn't it?
It is. That's where we're going with these. It's about it's not the popular choice. And
but I've been thinking about this all week in between practicing not swearing and being perfectly fine with the feedback we got from the first episode. Not bothered. Not bothered, mate. Not bothered.
I actually left some of the harsher bits out.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We've all got an opinion.
Okay, so there we have it then. So our top game is Red Dead. Oh God, our top game is Red Dead Redemption 2.
Red Dead Redemption. Yeah, nice one.
Let us know what yours are in the comments and however you want to get in touch with us. Let us know.
Do we
have
a topic for next week, Dave?
Do we? Movie soundtracks, that was it.
Movie soundtracks.
That's going to be hard as well. Are we going soundtracks or are we going scores and soundtracks? Is it
scores and soundtracks?
Scores and soundtracks.
Scores and soundtracks.
Makes it even harder, I suppose. Brilliant. Okay. There we go. See you on the next show.
Bye.